that's what the business you're in. It really does come down to relationships. Who I learned it from, by the way, was Regis McKenna. Regis was who Steve Jobs, the late Steve Jobs, partnered with early on, way before they had a product. They brought Regis in, who was, by the way, consulting with Intel and Genentech and many of the other Silicon Valley companies. And so when I decided I wanted to launch the world's largest entrepreneur organization, I thought, look, Regis helped Steve get to a couple billion in his 20s. Maybe he can help me. So I cold called him and I said, hey, would you help me? And he still kids me today. I was his only free client he's ever had. He said, all right, I'm going to teach you. I'm going to teach you what I taught Steve. And first he mailed me out a notebook that was like this thick. If I still had it, I could probably sell it as an NFT and retire. And then he said, you have to do two things. And first he puts his finger up and I'm like, what? My finger? He goes, no, you have to set aside a 1 hour marketing meeting separate from sales. I'm talking about, this is just a big idea I've got to have the world's largest entrepreneur organization. I haven't even started. But he said, you got to set aside 1 hour, even if it's with yourself, to focus on marketing separate from sales. I said, all right, I can do that. He said, I'm going to assign a young guy to you, Rich Moran, who I'm still good friends with here 40 years later. And then number two, you're going to take a piece of paper out and you're going to write down. And by the way, Bill Gates considered this the best question he had ever been asked. And that was, for me, what are the top 25 relationships, influencers that I need to bolt on to my dream if I'm going to be able to scale? And he said, look, the bigger the names, the faster you'll scale.